Subscribe and click the bell icon for television updates.
एक ही चीज़ कहूँगा कि we both love films, we love being on the set, we love telling stories, and we love, both of us love being part of a director's vision, and we go with the vision, and we love acting. We just are passionate about acting, and we both love laughing. We love laughing, and we just and making fun of ourselves. So सतीश खुद का मजाक उड़ाता हूँ, मैं अपना मजाक उड़ाता हूँ, और जब सतीश नहीं होता तो मैं सतीश की बुराई करता हूँ, जब मैं नहीं रहता हूँ तो सतीश मेरी बुराई करता है.
Raj wanted, Raj and I discussed the possibility of this happening with Dad, and it just fit. And I think once for me the idea was to just kind of try and make sure Raj gets the correct actors for all the roles, not just Dad's role, but even Fatima and Mukti and Jeetu ji and everyone. So Raj was quite sure about the fact that he wanted Dad, and then it just kind of happened from there. I think that ice was broken with Vikram's film, and we shot, I think, AK versus AK for 2 or 3 days. I have a smaller role in that film, and that was quite a extroverted character that I was playing in that film, which is very different from who I am in my real life. So I think the ice was kind of broken there, and so by the time we got to Thar, so much time had been spent. We had done a film together, that this film had kind of come out, and I try and kind of focus on my job and not get overwhelmed by the situation or who else is in the film.
ये मैं क्या करता हूँ, जब मैं कोई भी फिल्म करता हूँ तो मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि आई ट्राई माई बेस्ट दैट दुनिया में जितनी भी उस जॉनर पे फिल्म बनी हो, उस किरदार के लिए, उस फिल्म के लिए, सो आई सी ऑल ऑफ देम. सो थैंक्स टू दिस द स्टोरी, द स्क्रिप्ट, आई थिंक आई हैव सीन मोस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट वेस्टर्न्स एवर मेड इन द वर्ल्ड. एंड जैसे कि राज ने कहा कि कहीं ना कहीं there were other films, but very few films have been made in India. You can count on your fingertips. But yes, of course, there's all the Sergio Leone films. I'm a huge admirer of Sergio Leone. The way he would visualize, use the music, performances, stylish but fun. A lot of fun. So all the Sergio Leone films, and of course there is lately I've seen one of my favorite films is No Country for Old Men, directed by the Coen brothers. I just love the film. I love all the performances, and of course Once Upon a Time in the West, which commercially at that moment didn't do that well, but directed by Sergio Leone, the music was great and I loved the film. So जितनी भी फिल्में वेस्टर्न बनी हैं मैंने सब देखी, क्योंकि ये पेंडेमिक के एक साल थोड़ी सी हमने बाद में शुरू की, बट इतना वक्त था मेरे पास तो मैंने सारी फिल्में देखी और बहुत मज़ा आया. बट कीपिंग दैट दिस इज़, यू कांट से दैट दिस इज़ अ प्योर western. It's got love, it's got passion, it's got violence, it's got suspense, it's a thriller. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं, बिकॉज आज की फिल्म है ये, एंड डायरेक्टर और राइटर ने कोशिश की है कि टुडेज़ यंगर जनरेशन कैन रिलेट टू इट, बिकॉज वो जो पुरानी फिल्में थी वेस्टर्न, वो उसमें you know, people would not somewhere feel कि नहीं यार वो बात नहीं है, but this is got today's feel to it, and I think youngsters will relate to the film, all the young viewers and consumers. और आज हिंदुस्तान की जो मेजॉरिटी ऑडियंस जो फिल्में कंज्यूम करती है, चाहे वो नेटफ्लिक्स पे हो, चाहे वो थिएटर पे हो, वो आर दीज यंगस्टर्स, एंड दिस फिल्म केटर्स टू दोज यंगस्टर्स, आई फील.
बहुत ही बढ़िया, मतलब अमेजिंग था, बिकॉज आई लाइक आई सेड दैट ही इज़ वेरी कोऑपरेटिव, वेरी सपोर्टिंग. हज की बात कर रही हूँ पहले. हाँ मतलब
Just to be clear.
नहीं, पहले उनके बारे में. तो ही इज़ बीन वेरी सपोर्टिंग, एंड फॉर हिम टू बी एबल टू ब्रिंग दिस प्रोजेक्ट टुगेदर इज़ क्वाइट इनक्रेडिबल एट दिस यंग एज. सो with him I've had a great time, and with AK sir तो क्या बोलूँ मैं क्या बोलूँ. What an aura and magical aura this man has. He is incredible. Every time he would come on set, no, ऐसे there was this electrical bolt, मतलब वोल्ट क्या बोलते हैं उसको, बोल्ट ही बोलते हैं, हाँ वो. And it's so infectious because the moment he would come in, you would all feel एकदम एज इफ बहुत एनर्जी आ गई. इवन लाइक व्हेन आई वाज लो, आई वुड जस्ट स्पीक टू हिम एंड instantly I would feel good. So he has this incredible magical aura, and I'm so glad that I got to share the, you know, screen space with him. So I'm very happy. And Satish ji and Jeetu ji and Raj, you also, I love you too.
You know, the thing is, the idea is we're in a very interesting time in the world where you can make something and stream it anywhere on the planet. So I think the ability to do that through this platform is, you can't put a price on it, because you can't predict who your story is going to touch in what part of the world. They have an incredibly broad spectrum of people that subscribe to Netflix, and it also takes away in a way is you know, the whole monetary aspect of, you know, the first day collection and the satellite and all that, you know. So you don't really have to I mean, I never think about that anyway, but it just puts you at rest, where it just becomes about the film. And they're great producers. They're the best in terms of, they're very understanding, they're sensitive and empathetic towards the artist. Which is why you get to see AK versus AK, you get to see Ray, you get to see this. You know, a film like Bhavesh Joshi that doesn't do well in cinemas thrives on Netflix. It'll always be there, and it has become what it has now today because of them. So I think no matter what happens, and you know, wherever I go, I'll always be indebted to them. No, I want to work a lot more, and I just think, as you know, if the opportunity is there, why I love to work. We all kind of want to be on set. The more you act, the better you get, and it's all about practice. But you know, the idea is to not compromise on one's creative integrity just to go to work. You know, I think sometimes less is more. I hope everybody likes this film.
कि साउथ ने हमेशा अच्छी फिल्में बनाई हैं, हमेशा. मैं तो जब से मैंने होश संभाला है, हमेशा साउथ की फिल्में ने लोगों ने पसंद किया. चाहे वो राम और श्याम हो, चाहे वो एक दूजे के लिए हो. पता नहीं आप लोगों को ये फिल्में पता है ना? तो बहुत बेहतरीन फिल्में बनाई हैं और वो बनाते रहेंगे. और देव ऑलवेज बीन काइंड ऑफ एन इंस्पिरेशन. मैंने अपना करियर साउथ से शुरू किया. मेरी पहली फिल्म जो थी वो एज अ लीडिंग मैन तेलुगु फिल्म थी, जहाँ से मुझे प्रोफेशनलिज्म, डेडिकेशन, डिसिप्लिन मुझे सीखने को मिला. मुझे बाबू साहब के साथ काम करने को मिला. उसके बाद मैंने फिर एक कन्नड़ा फिल्म की, वो भी साउथ की थी, मणिरत्नम की पहली फिल्म थी. एंड उसके बाद मैंने बहुत सारी फिल्में की, एक्शन फिल्में की, रखवाला, इंसाफ की आवाज़. सतीश जी के साथ मैंने 2 फिल्में की, वो भी साउथ की एडेप्टेशन थी. हम आपके दिल में रहते हैं, हमारा दिल आपके पास है, दोनों सुपर हिट थी। तो साउथ ने हमेशा अच्छी कहानियाँ, अच्छी फिल्म, टेक्निकली हमेशा ये दौर था, है और चलता रहेगा। फिल्में अच्छी आएंगी और वो अच्छा काम करते हैं। एंड आई ऑलवेज लुक फॉरवर्ड टू ग्रेट डायरेक्टर्स with a great vision, and I've always admired them, and I think मुझे I don't get surprised. ये तो होना ही है और होता रहेगा जिंदगी भर. You know, obviously, as Harsh said, that AK was the film which somewhere broke the ice, and that the tentativeness, the anxiousness was there for me on the first day when I was shooting for AK versus AK. Matter of fact, I was more nervous than he was, and but because it was a long monologue, मैंने अपने करियर में इतना लंबा मोनोलॉग नहीं किया है. मैंने वो हमेशा डायरेक्टर बोलते हैं इसको तोड़ के लो यार, इतना लंबा मेरे से होगा नहीं. So when that long monologue came, and when he gave the shot, and Vikram and Anurag both have been very encouraging as well as very, very critical about Harsh. They both. And they do it more out of love so that he becomes better and better. And so they both started, was, सबकी अनुराग ने ताली बजाई, विक्रम आके पहली बार इसको जाके हक कर लिया. तो मेरे को हर्ष बोलते हैं पूरे भावेश जोशी में इसने आज तक इतने प्यार से मेरे से बात ही नहीं की और हक किया. So there I saw what he's capable of. लोगों को एक गलत इंप्रेशन है कि बहुत सीरियस है, इंट्रोवर्ट है. Sometimes perceptions, जैसे मेरे बारे में पहले कुछ परसेप्शन था, फिर चेंज हुआ, हर 10 साल में चेंज होता रहता है. एंड इनके बारे में ऐसा था. तो जब मैंने देखा कि इस तरह इन्होंने वो सीन किया which was so funny, and I was happy that the entire media, all the critics and everybody just praised his work, and they loved what he did. तो कहीं ना कहीं रिलीफ भी था और खुशी भी थी, and I was proud. मैं अगर इसकी जगह होता तो मैं नहीं फिल्म करता. AK वर्सेस AK मुझे ऑफर होती है और बोलता है कि भैया योर फादर इज देयर फिल्म एंड ही इज़ द हीरो ऑफ द फिल्म, और ये छोटा सा रोल करना है. मैं बोलता मेरे को फादर का रोल दो. You understand? So this is the way the younger generation is today. They are fearless, and at least he is, and which I admire, and I'm very proud of him. And so when we were shooting in Thar, एक दो suggestion मैंने दिए, but the suggestions were rejected. मैंने बोला तू ऐसा कर. नहीं डैड, ये गलत है. And then I said, अच्छा देख करके बता साले. Then किया, then he was right and I was wrong. So he did it in the way he believed was right. Then of course Satish was there. So Satish ने भी जब शॉट देखा तो मेरे पास सर बात तो है. You know how it is. तो बात फैलती है, वो पता चलता है, और कोई भी चीज़ जो धीरे फैलती है उसका इम्पैक्ट धीरे धीरे होता है. So that's what it is. So there is nothing very, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं थी, कोई नर्वसनेस नहीं, एंक्शसनेस नहीं. I just enjoyed working with him, and it's a जैसे कि हम लोग शूटिंग कर रहे थे तो मैंने इसके बाल देखे. मैंने उदयन को बोला, उदयन इज़ आवर CEO ऑफ द कंपनी. मैंने यार कोई हेयर ड्रेसर या कोई मेकअप क्या कैसा लग रहा है यार, मुझे बाल ऐसे हैं और ये वो ऐसा. तो बोला यार बजट नहीं था. मेरा बजट नहीं था यार, मेरे से ले लेते पैसे. बोला नहीं यार, बोला नहीं वो बजट नहीं था, तो हमने सजेस्ट किया कि इसको कर ले. तो फर्स्ट डे जब वो हुआ तो अपना बाल और हेयर, तो फिर हर्ष ने बोला यार हटाओ यार, ना मेरे को हेयर ड्रेसर चाहिए ना मुझे मेकअप चाहिए. सो दिस होल फिल्म ही इज डन विदाउट अ हेयर ड्रेसर एंड देयर इज नो मेकअप मैन.
Wow.
ना कोई हेयर ड्रेसर है ना कोई मेकअप है. सो दैट्स द वे टुडे जनरेशन इज. दे डोंट नीड दिस पैराफेनेलिया एंड entourage and all. तो उसने किया है. तो व्हाट यू सी ऑन स्क्रीन, there is no hairdresser, there is no makeup. हम लोग सब बाल ज़रा बाल ठीक करना यार, कैसा लग रहा हूँ मैं. That kind of stuff. But that's what it is.
It kind of just happened by accident in a way where this film was supposed to be produced by Vikram Motwani. He called me about it in March 2018 when he was editing Bhavesh Joshi, and it was supposed to be a phantom film. That's when I met Raj for the first time. After that, the company dissolved. They all went their separate ways, and there was no Phantom anymore. So I found myself in a situation where I was very new. I was only 2 films old. This was before Ray and AK vs. AK. Raj was new as a director, although he had acted a lot before. And we had a really interesting script which was very different from what was being made even now. But imagine that like 4 years ago, there was the streaming thing hadn't really kicked off the way that it is now. So we went around for a year to several producers, and at that time it was supposed to be a theatrical film, and it was, it's quite, I don't want to say too much about the film, but it's not your traditional stereotypical Hindi film format film. So that was a difficult process. So we persevered for about a year. In that year, we ended up spending a lot of time together. We used to meet at my house every couple of weeks. We used to work on the script. And he knew that I was the protagonist now. So obviously he started kind of interpreting the character in a slightly more unique, different way. It was unique to me in a way. And so through that journey, the process kind of started. And then I think it was 2019, and a producer came to offer me a love story. And I said, I'm not too interested in this type of thing, but I have a really good script. Why don't you read it? And he read it and he liked it. And he came on board at the time to do this film in a much smaller way than, what you're seeing now, But we were quite excited, and at that time, then we started kind of casting and trying to put it together. And then we spoke to Dad, after which we did a test shoot, what Satish ji talked about briefly. We shot 3 scenes from the film. I'll tell you what the scenes are after you see the film. But we shot it for very nominal, almost no money. We shot it in Andheri, somewhere in a rented space. And 1 scene out of those 3 turned out quite well. So we started shopping that scene around, saying that, this is the script, this is the test shoot, I'm going to act in it, Raj is going to direct it, Anurag has helped write it. And that's when Netflix came on board. So by the time we had a funder, I had already been, Raj and I had been trying to do it for almost 18 months. Then we were supposed to shoot in 2020 March, because you can't shoot in Rajasthan in the summers, and then post the monsoons it's too green, and we wanted more of a barren kind of landscape. So it was very seasonal in terms of when we could go. And then COVID happened. So this was right after the AK vs. AK shoot. So he was busy every day, obviously, on set. I had a small role, I finished it, got into prep. That's when we signed Shreya to shoot the film, and Vasik came and all of that. And then we were all ready to go, and then we had to wait at home for another 10 months. So in those 10 months, then he got free. We both sat on the script a lot more. It, developed it a lot more. Then Netflix were very kind to us because they gave us more of a leeway with the money that we could spend and how large really we could kind of make the film. And so for me, it's been 4 years. For him, it's been 8, a little more, 4+ years. And it didn't, then obviously Netflix kind of had their own great ideas about the script, and so we collaborated with them. Then we went to shoot. Then there were challenges on set. We came back, we watched edits, we bettered things. So it's been incredibly educational, stressful, but in a very healthy way. And I think acting is something I'm doing right now, and I'm really enjoying it. But for me, I don't think any of us should limit ourselves to saying I'm only an actor and I'm going to be an actor for the rest of my life. I'm somebody that just loves films, so I want to do it all. And there's no better way to learn than working with Vikramaditya Motwani, Vasan Bala, Rakesh, Om Prakash Mehra, Raj, Anurag Kashyap. These are the best minds in the business. So you have intimate experience with them as a leading actor and a producer. It's definitely going to enrich you in ways. And when I came on stage, Minnie asked me, about the producer thing, and it was honestly just to make sure that no external forces could kind of water down his vision. So yeah.
अनिल सर ने जब बोला कि हाँ जीतू, मतलब जो बात की है मैं वो बात अभी यहाँ पे ऐसे नहीं कर सकता, क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत ज़्यादा बोल दिया था और राज भाई जिन्होंने ये फिल्म लिखी है, जिनका विजन है, तो काटेकर था। मेरा चयन ये है कि मैं अगर कुछ अलग कर पाऊँ तो वो मेरे लिए खुशी की बात है। और सबसे ज़्यादा खुशी की बात है कि जिसने ये विज़न रखा, जिसने ये लिखा है, जिसने डायरेक्ट किया और जिसने इसमें अपना योगदान दिया है एज अ प्रोड्यूसर, उन सारे लोगों को अगर पसंद आए तो वहाँ पे तो मतलब आगे फिर ऑडियंस का है। ऑडियंस को मैं इस कैरेक्टर की बात नहीं करूँगा, लेकिन हाँ ये फिल्म ज़रूर पसंद आएगी। ये उनको अपनी फिल्म लगेगी, अपनी फिल्म लगेगी। फिर वो यंगस्टर हो, चाहे वो मेरी माँ हो, माँ की उम्र की कोई इंसान हो, या कोई मेरी नानी की उम्र के इंसान हो, ये फिल्म सबको अच्छी लगेगी।
एक्शन तो नहीं है यार, ऐसा ज़रूरी थोड़ा ना हर फिल्म में कूदूँगी नहीं, बट ऑनेस्टली फॉर मी ये जो जॉनर, मैं ज़्यादा अंग्रेज़ी फिल्में देखती नहीं हूँ तो मुझे ज़्यादा पता नहीं है, बट ये जॉनर जो है ये इस फिल्म के साथ मुझे मालूम पड़ा कि ऐसा वेस्टर्न नाम का भी कुछ होता है, इस तरीके से शूट किया जाता है, ऐसी स्टोरी होती है, अलग ट्रीटमेंट होता है। सो आई एम ग्लैड कि थ्रू दिस फिल्म, थ्रू राज स्क्रिप्ट, दैट आई हैव गॉटन टू एक्सपीरियंस दैट। बट ये भी अपने तरीके से एक बहुत ही स्पेशल चीज़ है, क्योंकि एक्शन अलग जगह है बट ऐसे रोल्स करना भी एक बहुत ही स्पेशल चीज़ होता है। राजस्थान तो बहुत सुंदर है और इस फिल्म के वजह से मुझे वो राजस्थान देखने का मौका मिला। रोल तो मैं बहुत इंस्टिंक्टिवली प्ले करती हूँ, तो स्क्रिप्ट में जो होता है आई जस्ट ट्राई टू डिलीवर, एंड बिकॉज राज इज़ सच अ गुड डायरेक्टर, ही पेज अटेंशन टू द परफॉर्मेंसेज, इट वॉज़ वेरी ईजी टू प्ले दैट कैरेक्टर। आई डोंट नो लोगों को आई होप पसंद आए, बट मैंने बस कोशिश की है जो स्क्रिप्ट में लिखा है उतना कर लूँ।
तो अभी फातिमा जी ने पूछा कि पता नहीं ऑडियंस को पसंद आता है मेरा काम नहीं, मगर मैं ये दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ कि मैंने भी बहुत लड़कियों के साथ काम किया, मगर फातिमा जना शेख एक स्पेशल एक्ट्रेस है, बहुत ही स्पेशल है। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इनका जो करियर है अब एक बूंद ही हुआ है, अभी सागर बनना और बनेगा।
क्या बात है।
ये दावे के साथ।